my name is Asata Caldwell Worrell, and I was just interviewed by the KeithAndrewNetwork. He is doing a fantastic job of putting up an amazing platform and allowing people to come and share a little bit about themselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and you're watching episode 675. That's right, episode 675. Here is the talented and beautiful Miss Caldwell. It's great to see you again after all these years. Thank you for taking the time to be a guest on the Keith Andrew Network once again.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you again, especially after all this time.
No, absolutely. And if you can see, I actually have a professional background on us, unlike last time we did this.
Yeah, it looks really good. I like it.
No, I appreciate it. And I like the skeleton in the background too.
Oh, thank you. This is Georgina. I actually, so when I was in college, Georgina was one of the skeletons that we used as a reference model. You can kind of see, let me move my camera real quick, so you can kind of see the art in the corner. That is, I would say, maybe not Georgina was the model in that one, but in the closet that we kept Georgina, we had her for reference use. So when I graduated, a friend of mine had actually purchased her. And then she was going to move, and so then she was like, "Hey, does anyone want to purchase this skeleton? We can't take it with us." And I was like, "Oh, I will definitely purchase that." So that was how I got Georgina.
Yeah, it's nice, and I like your office.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's a little different from how it was originally set up last time we spoke. I got a second desk. I got everything kind of set up. Right now I'm doing some archival illustrations, so you can kind of see it's an arrowhead, so we're doing some archival illustrations of the flint knapping pattern. And so it's a little bit more ergonomic, a little bit easier to move around and do my reference research and move back over and do some actual illustrating. So yeah.
Well, if you're still interested, I would love to work with you.
Oh yeah, I would love to talk more and see what you need, what we can do.
And now for people who want to know and want to see our very first episode, I actually wrote it down this time. It was season 3, so that would be, trying to think without hurting myself, 2015, and now it's episode 200. I think it's ever 15 or 14. Mm-hmm. Now let's go with 15. 15 sounds like a good number. Season 3, episode 281.
Wow, yeah.
And it's funny, I was just looking at it. I was looking at your Facebook, so I guess you're no longer a professional actress, because at the time you were portraying yourself as a professional actress.
Oh, I was never an actress. I was always a medical illustrator. Yep.
I have to fix that.
Oh, that's okay. I'm sure when you're looking through my Facebook, I did some modeling for a while, and I did pageantry. So you probably came across some of those materials, old modeling photos, and was like, oh, portfolio.
So you were never a actress, right?
Nope, I never actually was an actress. No.
I have no swear, because I even introduced you as an actress too.
Oh, that's okay. Miscommunication.
And no one's perfect. But with that being said, how's your artwork coming along?
It's coming along right now. I would say one of the biggest things is because of the pandemic, the clients slowed down. I think a lot of people experience that, all businesses, but especially small businesses like mine. A lot of the people I was working with before, they either were in a position where they themselves are being told, hey, you can't come into work, so whatever you're researching, whatever you're working on, you got to put it on pause. I know that in some cases, you go from, okay, everyone is shutting down, let's take a breather, And then it got to the point where everyone's like, okay, let's see if we can try and work remotely, which in some situations that work, in other situations it doesn't, unfortunately. But I think one of the biggest things regarding all of that to be mindful of is we were all, I guess, we're still in this kind of general panic where we're trying to figure out what can we do and how much can we go outside, how close in proximity can we be to people. But I would say silver lining to all of that, it's allowed me an opportunity to keep working on my portfolio and have a little bit of time to say, okay, this is what I want to work on. This is what I think is valuable. So let's sit down and work on that, which for me, this last year has actually been, I created I call it my diversity and inclusion poster. So let's see here. I have one that's already, I just keep it up on my platform over here. So I grew up in a dental office. I think we talked about that last time, that my mom's a dentist. And when I would say about back in 2017, there was a moment where I had come into my mom's clinic and I was just kind of helping out, moving stuff around, helping her clean her lab up a little bit. And a family had come in. They were some younger girls and their father and mother. And at first, it seemed like a very normal visit. They went into the back, they got their teeth checked. And after they left, my mom took me aside and she was like, this visit went really well compared to last time. And I was like, oh okay, that's good. And she was like, well, I think it's because, these were refugees that had come from the continent of Africa. They'd come to the United States. And she is like, last time they came here, they hardly even wanted to come into the back room to let me actually do their checkup. They just wanted me to sign their forms that said, yes, they got a dental visit, they can go to school. And she's like, I kind of think that because you look like them, they felt more comfortable to let me actually do my work. So from that and doing some more research and talking to some other clinics, I realized that it is not uncommon for people that are immigrants and refugees and people of color to just feel not comfortable to go into a healthcare facility and trust that they're going to be well taken care of. So for me, it turned into, okay, well, what are some of the main questions that they usually have that maybe they don't feel comfortable asking or don't know how to ask? And how can we get them to feel comfortable being like, oh, okay, they see people like me, they understand people like me. So that was the beginning of what I call my inclusion and diversity poster. We cover tooth development in small children, what's a healthy tooth versus a tooth that's decaying, and most importantly, to have a face that looks like them. So right now, I'm actually working with the county that I guess used to live in, Johnson County in Iowa, and talking with them, I kind of got a little bit more insight. We kind of got to do a little bit more beta testing of the poster. And we decided that, well, it's a good poster and the information it provides. Right now, what I've been working on is I want to focus on women and children. So I'm updating the poster with an illustration that, I could show you it's not finished. It's not finished, but the model that I had for this is actually a photo of me when I was young, which kind of spurred the very original conversation that I had about everything that was happening, which was which you can kind of, there you go. Can we see?
That's nice.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Which kind of spurred the conversation in the very beginning of I was a person of color in a community that was mostly white, and when it came to my understanding of health and what's healthy and normal, everything that was available was for cis white males, I would say. And it came down to this one event. I was in like second grade, and my mom had come in to teach my class how to brush her teeth. And one of the things that we were doing was we had these little chew tablets where you chew on them and you swish with your spit and it stains your teeth so that you can see the plaque and how well you did brushing versus what needs some work. And so we're all doing that, and we're all showing our stainless teeth, and we're like, look, I brushed so good. And a table mate was looking at me, and he was like, oh, your gums are still really dark, you need to brush them better. And so at that point, I kind of just was like, I don't understand. I'm just kind of processing it on my own. I got home. At that point, I was like super upset, and I was crying, and I was talking to Mom. I was like, I don't understand what's wrong with my with my mouth. And she was like, oh, you have pigment in your skin, you have pigment in your gums. We should have maybe talked about this at some point. Didn't think about it. I am sorry that you're so upset. At which point my sister also sat down and talked. She's older than me by 10 years. So she's like, yeah, I already went through this. Let me just, look in my mouth and you can see and compare. This is normal. This is healthy. And when I was, seeing these families with especially the younger kids, I was like, what if they're having that right now? Like, I don't know what they're going through right now, but if I could prevent a little girl from coming home crying because she doesn't understand, then I did a good job. I helped someone. I did what my goal was to do.
I don't mean to laugh. It's I was thinking of her as just sarcastic things you could have done in response. There's a wrestler named Matt Hardy, and his gimmick is broken, so he acts kind of bizarre. It's like when someone goes in, it's like, let me see your teeth. Nah, 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 nah. Or what's that? You said when you spat, it was black. It's like, well, no,
when I smiled, my teeth, my gums are darker than like just a normal. So I mean, I guess I could have said something back to this kid, but at the time, I would say I think my priority was, is there actually something wrong? Like, it wasn't, if I had known, oh no, this is normal, then I think I would have been able to say, well, that's how it is, and said something back to this kid. But, when you're actually worried about the healthcare end of it, no, I was much more concerned about what did this kid see, and how can I see it, and what do I need to do in order to heal it. But yeah, I mean, I think another end of that, which, it's easy to respond back and make a joke, or to, snap back at somebody. But I also think there's a value in educating somebody else about what your normal is. And so that's the other hope, is maybe, somebody else will see that poster, and if they have multiracial kids, or if they have a friend, then, they can approach that situation with more education and understanding, which I think that's what makes the world a better place, right? So
no, I agree with that, and I'm for people marrying multiple culture. So I'll give you an example. I like Asian girls. So I guess in Godzilla mode, not to sound like an idiot or anything, but I'm a big fan of the Godzilla movies, and I like Dragon Ball Z, and I just think some Asian girls are better looking than white girls.
Yeah, everyone
if that makes
has
any
their
sense,
preference.
what I just said.
Everyone
Don't mind
has
me.
their preference.
I don't think before I speak.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was just saying, yep. So that, I especially in the climate as of right now, I think that's kind of a good thing to bring to the table, to be able to bring some additional materials and not just, tell somebody oh, you're wrong, or you don't know, or, to just kind of be like, let's open up this conversation. And if you're willing to listen, I'm willing to share,
No, absolutely. Now, I don't know if you want to talk about political things, but with everything going on, do you want to talk about that or not really?
Sure, we can talk about it. Yeah, I think there's definitely a time to speak.
Well, it is uncensored, freedom of speech, self-expression. But with everything going on about, I'm always stop myself from saying this, but like I said, freedom of speech, with everything going on with the pandemic, you mentioned earlier that people are putting things on hold, and I can relate. My brother said to me, you want to call people up, or my friend Michelle says, call Colin. I'm still trying to figure out what that means. But I think it's just like randomly calling people up and trying to sell something. But I'm
Hmm.
not really selling something because this is my job.
Yeah, it's a platform. It's not really selling. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you. And they're like, oh, put things on hold. And I got into an argument with one guy. It's like, oh, hey, I saw you were a professional actor. You want to be on the show? And he's like, dude, we're in the middle of a pandemic. I'm like, yeah. So, yeah, not the smartest thing I said, yeah, so. And I was like, well, you're staying home, you're on the computer anyway. Why not do an interview? And I said something, and he answered back and said, well, we can wait until it's over. And like, well, that's got to be a year or so. And then he said something, and I said, and so, and he cut me off, said, there is no and so. This is a pandemic. And I understand, people are scared, It
Hmm.
doesn't matter if they want to tell you the numbers are up, the numbers are down. With states that are just reopened, the numbers spiked again. But I find it really amazing that, we can make artificial robots. We can make these fancy cars. I don't know if you saw recently SpaceX. We
Hmm.
launched SpaceX. You can do all these great things, but yet we can't fight a stupid virus. So it's one of those things don't really make any sense.
Hmm.
With that being said, how you been? How's the family? I know it's been a long time since we talked. How you dealing with the pandemic?
I would say so. When the pandemic first happened, there was this question of, like I think most Americans, like, okay, what now? And I think a big part of that is we kind of saw it coming. So, or at least I felt like I did. I mean, you're seeing it go from China to Europe to, you just know, oh, okay, it's probably going to hit the United States. And at the time, so my mom actually is a breast cancer survivor. She was just finishing her treatment at the time, and so I was kind of reeling from, okay, my mom's going to be okay. She had her surgery. She's fine. Um, Now it's time to refocus back on my work and make sure that I'm, continuing with my business. Um, that was right when we got the first notice of there are cases here in the United States. And for me, it was this understanding of, okay, I need to get ahead of everything before things get worse. So I was trying to really network and make sure that the network that I had was being well nourished. I was making sure I was staying connected with people, because I wanted there to be an opportunity if, what is happening now, if that was going to happen, that it would be a well enough built connection that I'd be able to reach out to that person and just, make sure that they're doing okay and let them know how I'm doing, and to keep continuing that conversation of whatever project they were working on, even if they were like, we're not able to work on it now, at least keep that concept of, this is still a valid thing to work on. Let's at least keep the conversation going, so that when things are ready to go back to normal, or whatever will be our new normal,
Yeah.
that we'll be okay, we'll be on top of it, and we didn't miss a step. So when actually we started having a shelter in place, my husband's actually an essential worker, so we weren't as hit. We weren't hit as bad as we could have. Even though my income decreased, my husband still had a job. He was still able to work. So for the most part, we were kind of in this position where we're like, okay, we're doing okay. Let's keep going. We're going to try and live life as normally as possible. One of the things that I think we felt was a responsibility, was to make sure that we were still trying to order food from restaurants, and to be able to provide money to other small businesses, and whether it was purchase something, or I know some businesses were selling like gift cards, things like that, so that when they're ready to open again, then you could use that, or you could gift it. Essentially knowing, okay, we still have an income, we should be responsible, and try to spread the wealth as much as we can without, neglecting ourselves. So I think in total, the big issue was kind of the stress of it with having my mom just getting healthy again. There's this concern of if she gets sick, she might not recover from it. My sister has a son, and at that point, we didn't really know what the virus was doing. And so there was that small worry of, okay, my sister needs to be okay, her husband needs to be okay, her child needs to be okay. So there's just this constant video calling back and forth, making sure that everyone's staying quarantined, that if they needed something, that they'd let me know, and that I would, mail whatever they needed to them, especially, with like the toilet paper issue. It's like, do you guys need toilet paper? No? Okay.
That's funny. There's a Scooby-Doo thing. I don't know. Well, let's go back to the toilet paper. I don't know why the hell people are stacked. You might as well buy Imodiums while you do it, toilet paper and Imodiums. But there's a Scooby-Doo skit. Like, let's see what this coronavirus is why it's so scary. And there's two cartoons. The first one is they take off the masks, like Fox News, CNN, ABC, and all these different networks. And I know, that may or may not be funny for some people, but the other one was actually the Charmin Bear was behind.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. So I listened to a couple podcasts about the toilet paper shortage, and it was just such it's a weird thing to have a shortage of, right? Like, you go, what is happening? There were literally people getting in fights at our local Walmart over toilet paper, and you're just kind of like, what is happening? How do we fix this? And a big understanding a little bit later on, I think, was that, okay, so there is industrial toilet paper, that toilet paper that is at Walmart, the big rolls, and it's not very nice. And then you have and then you have the normal household toilet paper, and companies that were, either did both or just did one. There was that issue of, could we switch? And I was thinking, if I was truly at a point where there was no more toilet paper, would I be able to purchase industrial sized toilet paper? Because there's a stockroom somewhere with it.
Yeah.
I would not mind getting access to that toilet paper. But yeah, it was just kind of a weird moment. And I mean, there was all kinds of stuff, like people were treating it like how the diamond industry is, where some people are purposely holding stacks or stashes of it so that they can increase the cost of it. But yeah, I would say you got to definitely see humanity in a panic, and in some cases, people did well. In other cases, you just kind of were like, why? But yeah, it was, oh, that was just a weird moment. I remember, I don't know if you saw, but I think it was on the news, or it was at least on one of my news feeds, that there was a person that had several $1,000s worth of like hand sanitizer and toilet paper that he
Right.
stockpiled, and that police had to go and actually like force him to give it up. And I was just, what is happening? But yeah.
No, I don't mean to cut you off. It's almost time for my alarm to go off.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to part 3 with you as well. But wrapping up, how can people follow you on social media? And also, now perfect time and data, so I have my windows closed usually. Now, having a brain fart because I was distracted by the people outside cutting garden grass. How
Oh.
can people follow you on social media?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just go with that one first while I can go
Okay.
close the windows.
Yeah. So I would say I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter. My company does have a Facebook page. So my business's name is Legacy BioStudios, and my handles are at the BioStudio. Yeah, those are the main ones. And I also have a LinkedIn. So if anyone wants to connect and talk, maybe you're pick. Oh no, my internet is unstable. I don't know if you can still hear me.
Oh, I can hear you.
Okay, good. We've been also having so many issues with internet crashing in our neighborhood. It's been a mess.
Well, that's the thing. Everyone's home and on the internet. It doesn't do everything. About wrapping up our interview segment, it was our honor and privilege having you as a guest, and I'm looking forward to part 3 down the road.
Oh yes, thank you. And we will try to get that scheduled faster than we got part 2 scheduled.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.